Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to my lecturer Sir Rafiq, fellow classmates and dear friends. Today I am going to give a speech on whether or not education should be made free. What if education was completely free? Now this is a question that has brought up a lot of debates between people. Receiving an education is mandatory for any average person that have plans on pursuing a promising job and making sure a bright and comfortable future is well within their grasp. But the general accessibility of an education has become quite the issue across the world. A very large majority of people are claiming education should be made free to all who wish to obtain it, without really thinking of the consequences that might come along with it. Which begs the question, should education be made free? The answer is no. Education should not be made free because there are several factors revolving around the education system that would be affected if it was, such as the quality of education decreasing, college operations not being paid, and the overpopulation of students. The first factor that needs to be considered is the overall quality of the education decreasing. According to Wikipedia, the government in Malaysia provides funds to at least 20 different public universities. A large sum of money is required in order for an educator to supply a variety of necessities for students. For example, even the smallest category of colleges has a little less than 5,000 students, which would mean that the college needs to provide in order to pay for electricity bills, water bills, and of course, unlimited high-speed internet. If the college tuition were to be free and the college was only receiving money from the government, then the money would not be enough to ensure that every student will get a fair share of the materials provided. Other than that, there would be a lack of variety in general when it comes to materials, causing the overall quality of the education to decrease. Aside from that, we need to think about how the college operations and lecturers will be paid. If education was made free, then there would not be a sufficient amount of money and the college operations will not be paid. A portion of the money that is gained from tuition fees is returned to lecturers in the form of a salary. A salary is a payment for doing their jobs and educating students, especially when it comes to private universities. If students and parents are suddenly no longer required to pay the tuition fees, then the school staff and lecturers would be working non-stop without earning, making it impossible for them to put food on the table. Quite frankly, the concept of it could be defined as forced labor, which, according to theconversation.com, is illegal in almost half the countries in the world. It is also highly unlikely that any educator would be willing to do their job for free, and the chances of anyone wanting to become an educator, knowing that they are not going to be paid, are very low. Eventually, this will create a new problem entirely in itself, which is understaffed universities. This ultimately brings us to our final factor. If education was free worldwide, there would be a serious overpopulation in students. With the existing education system that needs to be paid for, a sense of balance and organization can exist. Only those who can afford it or are deserving of a scholarship will proceed with tertiary level learning. Even if some may say that the world would be a better place as everyone gets an equal opportunity on pursuing their studies, factors such as sufficient amount of colleges or universities, classrooms and seating, work materials and lecturers cannot be promised. Imagine every single person in the world wanting to pursue their studies after graduating from high school. The requirements of application would either depend on luck or turns, which in the end would still be unfair for everyone else that does not get selected. It is a fair point to claim that students tend to drop out of school due to financial issues, but we must note that it is not the number one reason. Re-Up Education's research report, which is a company that helps re-enroll students who have dropped out and then supports them through graduation, claims that being unable to juggle their responsibilities in life outside of school is a more drastic reason students leave. Therefore, proving that making education free for all is not necessarily going to solve any problems related to pursuing studies. In fact, this may cause even more unwanted problems to unfold. Although making education accessible to everyone is a very nice thought, it would have to remain just a thought for now. That is all I have to say for you today. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed my speech, and I will see you again very soon. Thank you.